And welcome back. How are we all getting on?
Doing good, man. And today we're joined by a very special guest, John Reinke. People may recognize you from Tiger King. It was a big deal. So how about you introduce yourself, sir?
Yeah, John Reinke. I managed the GW Zoo for 14 years and found myself in the middle of a documentary.
What a story it was, man. What a story. So how did you originally get involved in it?
We just went on vacation one day and we found this place on vacation. I just fell in love with the place. Started going back on weekends and volunteering, and then I just volunteered more and ended up staying there all the time. So when I left there, it was a 24/7, 7-day-a-week, 365-day-a-week job. So, yeah.
How did that even work for you? Because I don't know, that's pretty crazy. Did you have to live there as well?
I had a place there. I stayed right there. Most of the time I lived with Joe and his boyfriends, but towards the end there, when they started getting married and stuff, I got my own place. And but yeah, I had a place there, and then I had a place here in Texas too. So
yeah. And one thing that was really weird in the documentary was like the Walmart meat you guys got.
Yeah.
I mean, what was your thoughts on that?
It's pretty crazy, but some of that meat's not hurt. Some of that meat, we had a couple Walmarts that would actually put meat in there for us just because they didn't have enough to give us. So it was fresh off the shelves. So it is what it is. Some of that meat was good to eat, but I actually did the meat truck most of the time, so I knew what meat was fresh and which wasn't. Now the staff on the hand, they just ate anything and everything.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like the working conditions you were under. I don't know what the legality of it is in the States, but here you'd be a lot of trouble.
Legal. I can promise you.
Yeah, no, you'd be in deep water here.
We're getting paid so little.
Nobody made any money doing that, so hell, they just tried to find something to eat any way they could.
Yeah, you guys were getting was it $130 a week or something like that? Yeah. That is
when Thomas found that out, he was absolutely appalled earlier.
No, it's so bad.
And we worked every bit of 12 to 18 hours a day, every day.
Yeah. What's the legal amount you can work in the States, like in a day?
Well, you can legally work 40 hours, but they can work you, I think, up to 60 but they got to pay you overtime. And that was just never happening. So whether you work 40, 180, you still got I think it's $125 or $150 a week.
And what made you stay? Because these obviously weren't normal conditions to be under. I guess was the pay that kept you around? Like it was hard to get away from such an income?
I was solely there for them animals. I didn't care about the pay. I didn't care about the people, the drama. I was there for the animals. I mean, it's just not every day. I was in a position I could actually get in with a cat. I would climb in with my bone digger lion and just chill with him. And I could do that. It's not every day you get to do that.
So it was all about the experience for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and one hell of an experience it was. I remember when that show came out, I watched the entire thing with my mom. Just in one go. There's only twice we've ever done that, and that was with Stranger Things and Tiger King.
Yeah. Well, the bad news is y'all only got to see part of it. There is so much more out there that you haven't seen yet.
You'd imagine that because the more you keep watching, the worse it gets. It is so fucked up, the entire documentary.
Oh yeah.
There's probably loads of stuff we don't even know about.
Oh yeah. I guess there's another season coming out.
I didn't know that.
I didn't.
I'm really looking forward to it now. Wow.
They're finish it up now, so I think it's going to focus more on Carol and Tim Stark, and possibly Jeff Lowe now since he's in so much trouble. So
is he? What do you know about that?
He's starving the animals that he took away from Joe. He's not feeding them. He's had so many of them die. He's missing 60 of them. He's in a little bit of trouble right now.
You say he's missing?
How do you miss? How do you lose 60 big cats?
Exactly. But to the most part, they're all starving to death.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the biggest animal rights head, but that's pretty awful.
Yeah, he has done way far more damage than Joe ever thought about doing. And he's running free. I mean, they're not even looking to put him in jail. They're just trying to take his animals away. So I don't know. It's a messed up legal system.
Yeah, it's pretty dodgy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Stuff wrong, but he didn't do that much wrong. He didn't try to kill that lady. He didn't try to kill her.
No?
You think?
Nobody was paid to kill nobody. And they prosecuted him for it. Yeah.
We had this conversation earlier because I think the evidence is a statement from Lowe, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, Lowe and Lover.
Yeah, I think that guy's pretty damn dodgy. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear. That's why we have a guy like yourself. One of the good guys here.
I'm a guy. They don't want to hear from a normal guy. They want to hear from a thug or somebody with a lot of drama and stuff. And I don't have a bunch of drama.
We were talking about it a few days ago. We think it's so weird how Carol Baskins has become this like social media influencer.
Yeah,
like she's everywhere now. It's
like
very weird.
Documentary airs more on the side of her having killed someone.
Yeah,
and yet. Sorry to cut across you, John.
She has made millions off of this. Millions of dollars.
It's crazy.
If you don't mind me asking, like, how has it done for you financially, the show? Has it helped?
No, I mean, I haven't made enough money. I've done a couple commercials. I did a show and made $1,000 once, but I might have made, I haven't made $20,000 all year off of it.
That surprises me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, it's such a weird situation. You know, she can make millions of dollars while people think she's killed. Like, it's common knowledge at this point. Like, you can just say it, no one will question it. They made a song about. Didn't they make like a song on TikTok about like her killing her husband?
Yes. Yeah.
I still think she did. I think
she did.
He had a paper trail that was more like a plea for help, or if I disappear, this is what happened.
She just looks too sketchy.
The whole situation.
Why do you think people ignore it, or why people like aren't delving into it as much as they should?
I think the power she has with money. I mean, the lady's rich. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, she controls Florida. She controls PETA. I mean, she has all kinds of pull with PETA and the HSUS because she donates so much money to them.
Yeah, that's dodgy. And didn't she start off her business the same way Joe did?
Yep, exactly.
But she's on the moral crusade.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's making a big wave here, man. They're literally just taking down zoos left and right.
Really?
Yeah. What's the main reason? Is you can't own a tiger here. Like, I know it's complicated there. So how does it work?
You can't own a tiger here anymore. Before you could. I rescued several tigers out of people's backyards that would get them as pets. It couldn't take care of them, but they pretty much stopped all that. Now it's all just they don't like you having tigers in a cage. Period. That's their big fight.
I can understand that. I guess a cage isn't the best environment for something that would roam miles in the wild.
If it was a wild caught cat, I would say it doesn't need to be in a cage. But, none of our cats, there's very rarely is one wild caught in the United States. They've all been born here in captivity.
I suppose that's fair. And I guess, a comparison could be made with your dog. Like, how far does your dog really know? Like, if you don't walk your dog that often, he might only know your house, your garden, blah, blah, blah. I guess it's a similar environment for the cats.
Correct.
But then again, a dog is domesticated. They're not so much.
Yeah, you can say that, but you need to go check out Bone Digger Lion on YouTube and watch me with my lion. He never bothered me. He never bothered his weenie dogs either.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like that just from raising them and having that connection that they were pretty much okay. Like, I know one drags Joe by the foot in the documentary.
Yeah. Joe freaks. Joe is a little how do you say it? Dramatic when something like that happens. The cat was just actually wanting to play with his shoes, and then Joe just got mad and started slapping his crutch at him and stuff like that. But
then didn't he start like claiming that something was put on his shoes, like salmon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, Carol started that sardine oil a little on the show. They asked her, you know, what would start that, and she said, well, somebody must have put sardine oil on his shoes. That's where the big sardine oil thing came from. But I don't know, you know, when they're babies, and all those were babies at the zoo, and we used them, you know, and we raised them. We used to let them play with our tennis shoes to chew on, and we learned the hard way that you just don't let them play with your shoes.
Yeah, and I know people thought that, I know like you lost your legs in an accident, and people thought that, you know, it happened because of the tigers.
Yeah.
Did you ever get any injuries from the tigers or from the?
I've got a knife on my cheek. I've got a couple of scars on my arms, but nothing bad. I've been bit pretty bad by, let's see, a black bear, anaconda, mountain lion grabbed me with his claws once, and all it got was my jacket. But the tiger attack involved in, Joe took the helicopter ride. I didn't have to, so I scathed out pretty good.
Well, obviously happy you're okay.
Oh yeah.
I know a member of staff lost their arm.
Yeah. Saf did. Kelsey Safry did, and you know, it's one of them things. There's a lot of drama around that, but she had a leather glove on, a goose down coat, reached in a cage. Everything on there says that tiger wants to eat. You know, it's a bad deal.
Yeah. And one thing that really appalled me, like at the start of the documentary, I'm kind of rooting for Joe, but as it goes on, like his behavior becomes more questionable.
Yeah.
You know, like his concern was more financial than the well-being of, you know, the member of staff.
Yeah. As you know, when I first started there, he really, really cared about the animals. It was all about animals. And then as the stardom took off with the different documentary films filming and stuff like that, his head just got bigger. He started singing, acting like he was singing and stuff like that. And it just went to his head. And then there towards the end of it, his head was just way too big.
Because like, even when I heard that he made the website solely to just bash Carol, I thought this is probably like going to his head, right? Like,
yeah. There wasn't a day go by that he didn't bash Carol Baskin.
No, I'd love to talk to him one day, like if he gets out. But you know, he's a lot to answer to. In all fairness, I hope he sees that as well.
He'll. I don't know that the man will change. He won't get involved with animals again. I'm sure they won't allow it, but he'll get out. He doesn't deserve to do 22 years.
Yeah, the murder thing, I don't know how true that would be.
You know, there's actually people here in the United States that's actually murdered people and got less time.
Yeah, and that's a scary thing, because you wonder, okay, why him?
Yeah.
I remember hearing that. Oh, actually, I had a question for you about what you thought about Trump not pardoning him.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You know, it was kind of a crapshoot. We didn't know for sure, but we were going to make all the airwaves we could. So we definitely made airwaves and got on every news channel and everything about it. Just hoping Trump would see it more and more. And then it just didn't happen. You know, Trump's not real.
There's no way he didn't see it.
There's no way he didn't see it, but he's not really gay friendly, I guess, as you could say. So that's pretty much between that, and I really think Carol bought off Trump. So Carol could afford to drop $1 million or $2 million towards him to keep him in there, and I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Interesting.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have that much money, you probably could do that.
Yeah.
What was it? She did an interview like after Tiger King, and someone like punked her, like they faked it was someone else's show, didn't they?
The Jimmy Fallon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Fallon, yeah.
I've seen that, and like I think that's why no one can get her anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any interviews with her.
She does her own little podcast, and I know right now it's still old, poor, pitiful me. Joe don't need to get out. He's still going to kill me and all that stuff. But she's a pretty good actress. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But I understand from her point of view, if she genuinely believes that he would want to kill her, that you'd want him in there. Like, we'd all be the same. If you think someone wants to kill you, keep him in there, please. But at this point, I think he'd be more willing to do it if he's in there falsely. Like I'd say that would do something to you.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. There's a whole lot, Joe's not just her only enemy. I bet she's got 50 or 60 different zoos here in the United States that are her enemy that she's taken down now. I mean, she's going after Doc Antle now and trying to get his license away from him. They got Jeff Lowe's away from him, Tim Starks. She's making airways. I mean, she's making a lot of people mad in the United States.
I mean, I'm okay with the Jeff Lowe one because, you're saying like 60 missing and starving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand with that one. But Doc, he's a bit of an odd character in all fairness.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's treating them right, then I don't see why you take it off him.
You're right. I mean, he does take good care of his animals.
Well, I suppose, it's hard to justify having them. So you'd want to really justify that you can do it well.
It is, and it's their business. It's what they do for a living. So, they're on. Are y'all familiar with circuses and what they do?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're on a track right now to stop circuses from having any animal in them at all. And that's what their goal is.
They did that here. The most exotic animal you can have is a camel.
Yeah, well, that's what they're working on here, but you're not even going to be able to have a camel either, so.
That's not very American.
No, I mean, that's a lot.
In all fairness, like, you guys are very about you right to do things. Like, I mean, if you can trust someone to do it right, then absolutely they should be allowed. But if they do it wrong, there should be consequences.
You're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that? Like, that they could, like, just end circuses?
I grew up seeing circuses and I grew up going to zoos, but my kids have kids. They're not going to have a zoo to go to or a circus to go watch with animals in it. And to me, a circus isn't a circus without animals.
That's kind of depressing what you're saying, because I'm pretty sure everybody has memories of going to the zoo or going to the circus. Like, it's one of those memorable things, going to see elephants and giraffes and even lions and tigers. Like,
I don't think they'll get rid of zoos in all fairness.
They are actually. They're closing a bunch of them down, and they're trying to stop it because Carol, her ultimate goal is to have a virtual zoo. Everything has to be virtual.
Isn't that terrible for conservation, which is why we justify zoos?
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. But that's their demeanor. And, Ingrid Newkirk from PETA is no different. She wants all that stopped. She wants it to where you can't even have a house dog. And these
I remember.
Well, come take mine away. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Man, that's kind of crazy.
I remember they came out with that thing that they were against using the word pet, even though it's in their name.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous.
What can you say? Honest to God, what can you say to that?
The world is crazy, buddy. The world is crazy.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen it in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And, it's fixing to – this year's probably not going to be any better.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it is. We get a season 2 of Tiger King, so it better be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the show?
The second season?
Or just in general?
Oh, yeah, I've seen Tiger King, but I got to watch it when you guys got to watch it. They will not let you pre-screen it.
Really? Even though you're like...
Even though you're in it.
Even though I'm in it. Yep.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I was afraid I was going to look like a dumbass. I didn't want to look like a dumbass in it.
Well, you came across as fine, so I mean that's good.
You came across as one of the more sane characters, so you're not saying much, but
You were one of the only normal people in there.
Yeah.
It was like you and the guy who was filming it. What's his name again? Is it Fred?
You talking about Rick Kirkham?
Yeah, Rick.
Yeah. Why did Fred come to mind?
See, he wasn't even the one filming. He was the producer early in Joe's career.
That's what I meant, yeah.
When the Netflix guys come in and took over. He's a little off too, though.
Not a fan, no?
I'm not a fan. I still say he's the one that burnt down the studio.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted that footage. And what they don't tell you guys is there's a safe missing from that fire with all the hard drives in it. All that footage is gone somewhere. Somebody has it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And why do you think someone would want to burn it down?
Just to make it look like the fire took everything out.
But like, why would they want, the fire to take everything out?
Well, they want that footage out of there, so they stole the footage and then burn it down so nobody else could. So that way, everybody would think it burned up. But unfortunately, 3 of us knew that there were 2 safes, and there was only 1 left in the fire. So
that's
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Have you said that before?
Have I said it before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
I'm just normal. Nobody wants to hear my side.
We want to hear your side, man.
I didn't even get to speak during the trial because the $3,000 that Joe paid Alan Glover was to get him off the property, get him out of our hair because he was a pain in our ass. It wasn't to go kill Carol. It was to go home.
Wow.
But they didn't want to talk in court.
So,
yeah, 14 years I've ran that zoo, but I didn't talk in court.
That's very weird.
Yeah.
No, that
you have me stumped.
Yeah.
So he paid the guy to leave.
To go home.
But they're claiming it was to kill Carol Baskin.
Yeah. Jeff Lowe and Alan Glover got together and said, hey, let's 1,000 was to kill her. And that's what that was all about.
Wow.
I don't know how to explain the emotion I'm feeling right now.
That completely changes. That changes everything. Wow.
Everything.
Yeah. Why didn't they let you speak? Did you? I presume you asked, and you probably even.
Yeah, I mean, I was interviewed by Joe's attorneys, and I was interviewed by the prosecution, and they all said the prosecution was going to have me go on the stand, but then 4 days before the end of the trial, they said, we don't need you, Reinke. I said, what do you mean you don't need me? And they said, we don't need you. We've got this done. It's already a conviction. And I said, there is no way you guys can't have me. I need to be on that stand. And they said, we don't need you. So I didn't get to testify to anything. Yeah. Wow. Crazy.
Is there any way you can tell your side of the story?
Well, I've been trying. I've been putting the word out there. But they're starting an appeal process right now to go to court again. And if they go back to court, I can promise you I'll be one of the first ones on that stand.
Well, fair play to you, man. That's especially if it's an injustice done to him.
He's got some better attorneys now, so I think things will go a little differently.
So do you think he'll get out?
I think he'll get out.
Yeah. Dude. That's some heavy stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the shit they don't tell you about. Fuck.
That's the shit they don't tell you. Yeah. So do you think the show was very biased?
I really think everybody was portrayed exactly how they are in life. Every one of them. John Finley with no shirt and all of his tattoos and no teeth. That was him. Eric Cowie, the drunk with the long blonde hair. That was him. That's the way that Jeff Lowe, he's a thug. That's the way he is. Every one of them people were just like they were, except Joe. They did not glorify him enough because he is so much more arrogant than what they showed.
Interesting. And what do you think about his music career?
Yeah.
Say that. I didn't hear that.
All along he was lip syncing, and I actually told him to go record a song by himself so we could actually make a decision whether he could sing or not. And he did that, and the man can't sing.
Yeah, because I always thought that music does not sound like his speaking voice.
No.
At all.
Yeah, it's It's pretty crazy, you know. But there's so many people out there that bought it and really thought it was him singing.
Yeah, it's
so crazy. Jesus.
Yeah.
And the more you talk about it, or the more you watch it, the more you talk about it, it just even gets crazier. But we haven't even talked about his presidency run or the whole thing is, why did he think that was a good idea? Like,
no, he just come one day and said, "I'm going to run for president." And I said, "Are you out of your living mind? Do you know what that's going to cost?" I mean, so much money went to that presidency run and that governor run that could have went to the animals. It's just, I was not happy. I didn't like the studio and I didn't like the government runs because it took so much money out of them animals' mouths and stuff. I mean, we fed them. Sure, they got fed, but it could have been so much nicer not wasting that money that way.
So it became more of a vanity project for him.
Yeah.
Than, you know, for the animals, which is what you were more interested in.
Right.
If you ran it, how differently would it have been?
If the zoo?
Yeah. Like if you had the opportunity to.
You know, when Joe was out on the road doing his magic shows or his shows or whatever, and I ran the zoo, everybody was happier. All the staff was happier. Our lives were happier. It just went smooth. I mean, it's so much difference. I mean, night and day between me running it and Joe running it. But it was
I'll
Joe.
I'll tell you now, you're obviously a lot more level-headed than Joe. So I much prefer you doing it. But yeah, man, going for he went for president, then he went for governor.
Yeah.
What's going through your head when that's happened? That's just crazy.
You know, and the worst part is, he was running for president for 2024 or for 2020, this year's. He already had everything bought until he went to jail. He already had ink pens, calendars, shirts, bumper stickers, so he could pass out to everybody. Yeah, he was actually going to run for president again.
You know, the sad thing is that he was out, and the documentary came out that he probably would have won. That is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He would have probably done better than Kanye. You know. Didn't he run for like the Libertarian Party, and then he didn't even know what that was?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not been a liberal win, so it's one of them things that. But you have to establish whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, or Libertarian, before you even apply, because it costs money. It costs money to run. It costs money to get on the ballot. It's crazy how much money it takes to do that.
Ideally, it wouldn't, but you know, it's not an ideal world.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's really crazy. So with season 2 coming out, are you in any part of it?
I'm sure. I'm in a lot of it, probably.
Yeah.
Did you have to like go and or have to do any more new scenes, or?
Yeah, I mean, they've been filming for quite a while, actually. They were just here this past weekend trying to put an ending to it. But like I went to the Trump rally where we was trying to get Joe pardoned. I went to the pardon when we was waiting on him to get pardoned, and they filmed all that stuff. So yeah, I'm sure all that'll be in there.
All right.
Interesting. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I mean, the story ain't over. It's going crazy.
Whoever watched the first one's going to watch the second one. So
absolutely, maybe even more.
Yeah, probably.
You know? Like we're in quarantine. What else do we have to do?
Yeah.
How's that been for you? I know you're kind of used to a more wild lifestyle.
It's definitely kept me from going places and doing events and stuff. But right here locally, we're not really locked down real hard.
And where's that? Where are you from?
I'm in Texas, and we live by our own rules here. I mean, you barely wear a mask, but you know, our COVID numbers aren't real high, so I don't know. I've not gotten it, but I normally don't get the flu either, or the common cold, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, fair play to being healthy. That's always a good thing. Yeah, I like the way Texas is running. In all fairness, it leaves a lot to personal responsibility.
Yeah,
it's not. Here's a huge lockdown. It's okay. Well, if you wear a mask, you can do it. If you test the people beforehand, you can do it. Blah blah blah. It's different. I'd like to see how it plays out in comparison to other places, because that might be the way forward if it all goes well.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Look, I'm not a doctor, but we'll see. Very, very clearly not a doctor. Yeah, and like you said earlier, you had your own lion or tiger.
I did. I had my own lion when I was at the zoo, but unfortunately Jeff Lowe killed it. So yeah, when I left the zoo, the animals were still in Joe's name, because when you exhibit an animal, it has to be in somebody's name. Well, Jeff Lowe just kind of stole all them animals and put them in his name without permission or anything. So I couldn't get my lion back. And in the process, he ended up dying, and I'm pretty sure he got starved to death. So
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I can understand if that would make you pretty pissed off with Jeff.
Yeah.
And did you ask if you could, take care of it, keep it, whatever?
I did. After a few arguments, I had to go through an attorney, and the attorney said that Jeff Lowe wanted $50,000 for the care and upkeep of the lion. And I said, that's not going to happen. I said, I'm just a normal guy living a normal life, working 3 jobs, trying to make it. I said, I don't have 50 grand. So,
and because you didn't give him 50 grand, he starved it to death.
Yeah.
Fucking. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that next season is about how bad of a guy this dude is.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be
terrible.
That's
yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. It makes more sense for him to go away than Joe.
Carol got possession of the zoo in Wynnewood, which we knew she would eventually. With Joe in jail, he couldn't keep it tied up in court. So eventually she would get the property. Well, she didn't want the animals. She just wanted the property. So she kicked Jeff Lowe off the property, and he opened a new facility south of there. When Jeff Lowe left the zoo, he left 5 tigers, 3 bears, and 11 wolves. Left them for days, uncared for. And when Carol's crew came in to see what kind of equipment they were going to need to level the place, they found all these animals. He just walked away from them and left them in cages.
And what does that say about the man?
Exactly. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty damn cruel.
Instead of calling somebody and say, hey, I can't get these. Can you move them for me? Can you take them or whatever? Because there's people he could have called. He just left them.
Mm. Yeah, what kind of man is he to do that?
Yeah.
No, he should not be allowed to even go near big cats or any animals for that. Like, Jesus.
You're right. They pulled his license. He doesn't have a license, so he can't exhibit now.
Yeah.
So all he do is feed them every day. So, and he's not doing that. They're just starving to death.
No. And do you know whether the season 2 is going to focus on him, like doing all that kind of stuff, or do you?
I don't. I'm pretty sure he's in it quite a bit. Him and Tim Stark and Doc Antel, but I don't know. I do know they've been.
Pardon?
Like I said, I won't know till you guys see it. When you guys see it, I'll get to see it. Yeah, that's some part that sucks.
Yeah, dude, that's some awful stuff.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a story like that here, or I guess in Europe in general, or at least not in the EU. I think we don't really allow tigers or stuff like that for there'd be no situation in which that could occur in the European Union, as far as I know. I don't think there's anywhere in the EU that you keep any kind of big cats.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think somewhere in it. Where is it at? We had an exchange student that came to the zoo, and where she's from, and I can't remember what country she was in. They're allowed to have, I think, 3 or 4 under special licenses or something like that. But her family actually has a zoo over there somewhere.
Was it in Europe?
It was in Europe somewhere.
Okay. And you would know the accent, no?
Ivana Evers was her name, I believe. and I can't remember where she was from. She has a really, really hard accent.
Like Slavic accent or like Spanish or?
No, it's like man, almost like a Polish or a Russian. God, I can't even think where she's from. I'd have swore she's from the UK though.
The UK is not known for its hard Slavic accent.
Yeah,
in all fairness.
Accent. I don't know which country, but I'm not a big cultural man, I guess I should say.
That's fair. Well, you're on the Awfully Irish podcast in Ireland.
Yeah.
You got any Irish in you?
I do not.
No, sir. Scottish?
Nope.
Just German?
Just German and honky American.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you also wouldn't get that in Germany. Like the story is just so unique to America, and like even unique to the state where it happened, or the states where it happened. Like I don't think there'll ever be a situation where it could ever happen again. Yeah, I think that's Joe Exotic may be the last Tiger King.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, and you can debate on whether that's good or bad.
Yeah.
So like moving on from Tiger King, how's it been for you?
It's pretty crazy when I go out in public. I can't go anywhere and not be recognized. But especially the racetracks. I race on the weekends. I race stock cars. It's been pretty big with the stock car family, I guess you should say. But I mean, it's pretty crazy world.
Absolutely.
And do you do that for a hobby, or is that like, do you get prizes for winning, or?
Nah, I just do it for a hobby.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, like, are you still working with animals these days, or?
I do actually. There's a circus here in Oklahoma that I babysit their cat in the wintertime.
That's cool. And is that like your main job, or what else are you doing?
Not really. My main job is mechanic, and I work on cars.
Well, there you go.
But if they call and need a babysitter, I go run, and I look forward to it. So,
I mean, you're a manly man, dealing with tigers and lions.
Yeah.
You're fixing up the old cars.
Yeah.
Not too bad. But obviously, one thing that was notable about you in Tiger King was, and they made it very obvious in the thing. I think they didn't need to. You lost your legs.
I did.
How did that happen, if you don't mind me asking?
It was in a zip line accident. Back when I was young, I used to bungee jump professionally, and I'd travel around the United States bungee jumping. And I did about 5 or 6 years of that and got tired of it, and came home and got a job in a factory. And the people that I bungee jumped with built this new amusement ride for to go to fairs and stuff. And it was a portable zip line. And they asked me to come help them with it and set it up and test it. And that's what we were doing. We were setting it up. And I was actually the last live test to go down that thing. And it failed. Fell 50 feet, landed on my feet, crushed my back, crushed my hip, tore up all my insides. Pretty crazy. Something that was supposed to be a kiddie ride, and it didn't turn out too good.
What was the initial injury to your legs? Like, were you able to keep them, or did they have to go?
I kept them. They put them together. They wanted to amputate my feet. I landed on my feet, and then my butt hit the trailer that I landed on, and which broke my back, broke my hip, shredded my intestines. So they put my feet back together and told me to not walk on them ever again. Well, after a year and a half of being paralyzed and in a wheelchair, I learned how to move a big toe. When I could move my big toe, I started saying, hey, if I can move a toe, I can walk. So I actually went to rehab and learned how to walk. Dallas Rehab Institute down in Dallas taught me how to walk in water on parallel bars. And once I learned how to do that and not be able to feel my feet, I just kept walking on them, and I kept getting a bone infection because I didn't have no muscle mass. I was just walking on bones. So ultimately, I ended up having to get my feet cut off. Best thing I ever did.
Was it a scary experience?
It was different, that's for sure. I don't know about too scary. I bet I had over 35 surgeries trying to save them, make them work and everything. And I was just done. I was either ready to die or cut them off. So I ended up cutting them off. Texas would not cut them off. They told me, we will not cut them off. You need to get in a wheelchair and stay there. So I went to Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma City, and they says they need to come off. Says you're going to die if you don't cut them off. So I cut one off at a time. So.
And how's it been with prosthetics?
It's a whole lot easier.
You got a cool pair, in all fairness. Like I seen them on Tiger King. They're really cool.
I try and put something evil on them all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can just imagine. I don't know how I deal with that situation, but you seem pretty calm about it.
Yeah, you just gotta
fair play.
Get up, move on. You know, if they want you to just lay around and die is what they want you to do, but I wasn't ready.
Yeah, and has life been better being able to get up and walk?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
So, how do your prosthetic legs work? Like,
they actually just they actually, these right here that I've got now actually lock on. They got little pins in the bottom of my socks that I put on my nubs, and they actually lock on. Learned that from the zoo because I had a grizzly bear take one of my legs away from me. It would just slid off and it went through the cage. So after that, I started locking them on.
It's not a bad idea. But,
is there any kind of discomfort when walking, or?
You know, I have good days and I have bad days. If I've been on my legs a lot, they get a little sore towards the evening.
And who made them? It's hardly the company on your shirt.
Yeah, this is Celerity Prosthetics in Oklahoma City actually builds them for me. Rush, I wear a Rush foot, which is actually a commercial type foot. They actually heard what all I did and everything, and they started sponsoring my feet, so I don't have to buy a feet anymore. I just have to buy the leg part, so that's kind of nice.
That's cool. And are you able to change your height with them?
Yeah.
So you have a tall pair and a short pair?
I did. I actually, when my kids started getting as tall as me, they come up and be smart asses and say, hey, look, I'm as tall as you are now. I said, wait till next week.
That's cool.
Smart guy. Yeah. And what do your kids think of it? Like, have they seen the documentary?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they've seen it. They think it's pretty crazy because they've gotten bombarded, too, because when this first came out, I just kind of hid in the shadows, I guess you could say. So they would search them out to try and get a hold of me. Everybody wanted that interview and that TV show.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty weird. To get into your kids to try to get to you.
Yeah.
Sure. I'm glad it went straight to you.
Yeah, just come straight to the story. I've got a lot more social media now than when I first started too. So I'm still new to this Instagram thing, but I'm learning.
Yeah. I think you should have a show. You know, you talk about like what went on. Because obviously you have a lot of insight, and
I signed on to do a stage show. If this COVID thing would lift up, we'd be doing shows probably every week. 4 of us. There's me, Saf, the one that lost the hand, Josh Dial, and Barbara Fisher. Barbara Fisher's from Doc Antilles. Josh Dial is the one that did Joe's political stuff. We get on a stage and we answer questions and just have like a meet and greet and talk to the audience and stuff. We did one show in Iowa last year, and it turned out pretty cool. So I'd like to see that kick off. It's called Uncaged Tiger King. So maybe the COVID will slack off and we'll get to do some of that this year.
Especially when season 2 comes out, it'll be pretty.
Yeah,
Tiger King will be very topical again. You know, it was very topical at the start of near the start of this year, but season 2 would just kind of lift that back up, and you guys hopefully be able to do that. Yeah.
Because it's a story so crazy, you know, you can't help but look at it and wonder.
I know. I live that every day. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That's you know, you were living this stuff, and you know, we're just watching it and thinking it's crazy. Like, what were you thinking every day?
It's like there's no way this can all be true. Yeah. Plus some.
You got any weird stories that wouldn't have been on the show?
You know, not really. A lot of people's asked me that. Everything's documented, so I really look for it to all come out.
But you were there for like years. There has to have been something.
Yeah, you know, it's just normal everyday stuff for me, so it's not really weird to me.
Yep.
Me and Joe got attacked by a tiger. They don't talk too much about that because they don't want to hear that stuff. But yeah, I was just. I
Did you ever meet Carol Baskin?
Have I ever what?
Have you ever met Carol Baskin? Have you got a story there?
I seen her in the courtroom when I went and watched the court, but I've never met her. I've met her husband, Howard. I've met him.
The alive one.
He's a pretty nice guy, actually.
Have you seen their wedding photo? Thomas, could you pull that up? For anyone who hasn't seen that. Oh my God.
And they're proud of it.
I'm sure they are. Dude. Like, a long time ago, we asked if we could interview her, but this was just after she got punked. So I don't think that was ever going to happen. But I don't know.
You know what?
After talking to you, my stats has kind of changed.
I completely forgot about that wedding photo until like 2 seconds ago. Jesus Christ! What? Oh wow!
Traumatized.
Pull it up, son.
What in the fuck? It's loading now, but look,
give us a second.
Poor guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Not how he pictured his wedding photos. I wonder.
You know, he's scared. He's got to be scared every day.
Well, you know, she has a track record of, you know, not doing too well with husbands, so probably yeah.
And obviously, she's the dominant one. You can see that in the photo.
Well, there you go. She has him in a leash. What were you thinking?
How could you tell? Was it by the way she was holding the lead or the way he was wearing the collar? Please.
Yeah. Give us the insight here.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But
yeah, she just is continuing as normal, profiting from this whole experience. And that's kind of wrong. I'd love to hear her side, or I'd like to have someone from like Joe's corner, you know, debate her on it. I don't think she'd ever do it, but you know, definitely weird, dude. Definitely a weird experience. Weird. Is there any like legal stuff happening with her, or is she just fine?
You know, they're not even looking at her as a suspect. I don't understand that, but like I said, she's pretty powerful. She's got a lot of money, and I know she has the sheriff department down there in her pocket.
Really?
You think?
Oh, yeah. Her brother was one of the sheriffs down there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You said was. Is he still, or?
I don't think he is anymore. What is the sheriff's name? Chronister. The new sheriff, Chronister, his son just got in trouble for stabbing some guy in the face, and he got 20 months.
20
so months. I don't know. She's definitely in their pockets.
Yeah.
It's like a modern day Pablo Escobar kind of, but like instead of cocaine, it's tigers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I wonder, how does she make the income in that place? Do they just do tours, or?
Yeah.
Like, how does she justify it if she's going after these other tiger owners?
We're going after other tiger owners, and she's got people that just throw money at her. But she has not been open for months now because I'm sure it's because people are going to try and find out if Dawn's buried on the property. So they're going to come in with cadaver dogs or whatever. I mean, she's got the place locked up now. So I don't know. As far as I know, she's making millions off of cameos.
Yeah.
She made $140,000 off of Dancing with the Stars. She is definitely making money.
You know, the only thing you could compare it to is maybe OJ. You know, like he was like him killing his wife.
Yep.
And then like him supposedly killing his wife, and then her supposedly killing her husband. It's like if after OJ was supposed to have killed his wife, that everyone started loving him.
Yeah.
Like that's really the kind of situation we're looking at there.
You're right. That's a good comparison. Yeah.
Yeah. Female OJ.
Really weird. We talked about it before, how we just don't understand how people can idolize her when you know she is. I know she's not, but like she's actually like a suspect. Like there's so much evidence against her, like the will going missing, like her claiming, didn't she like claim the money after like 5 years in one day, whereas the limit is like 5 years or something like that. Like it's so.
I kind of understand that. I kind of get that. You have to wait 5 years. you're gonna do it when you can get it.
Right.
Like she wasn't gonna wait like 7 years or something. Like if it's 5 years is a long time.
And who puts it in their will upon Don's disappearance? I mean, who puts that upon his disappearance? That's crazy. I mean,
I've never heard of that.
No, that's one of the things that make you stop and question pretty much everything in that situation. Like it's.
And I don't know. Like, do you think if he was still alive, he would have, said hello by now after the show came out?
You would think so.
Yeah. What do you think happened to him, John?
Huh?
I said, what do you think happened to him?
I actually think she ground him up in the meat grinder and fed him to the tigers. Because at this point in life, he would just be on.
But what wasn't her meat grinder just like a standard kitchen one? It was really small.
No, she actually had an industrial meat grinder.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, you could get a whole cow leg in this meat grinder. So you could sure get a whole,
Yeah. Remember I was like bringing into question what kind of guy Jeff was. I wonder what kind of woman she is. If she could do something like that,
Yeah. I think she could.
Yeah.
Even with the story of how they met, like she didn't he tell her to put the gun on him or something?
Yeah.
She couldn't trust him?
Yeah.
Like it's a bit weird, isn't it? Thomas, it looks like you know about that.
It says it in the beginning, in the Tiger King series that he met her when she was walking on the streets. Well, she wasn't just walking on the streets; she was working the streets when he met her.
I didn't even.
Are you sure of that, or?
Yeah, she was actually working the streets. Yeah.
Because in the show, what did they say? Like she fought with her family and then went out, and that's where she met him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that was the case.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude.
She's out
There's
there.
a lot of twists and turns in this story. And you've obviously given us a lot more insight in it now. That Joe paid $3,000 to get rid of this guy, not to get him to kill Carol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you think he tells the story that he was told to kill Carol?
Because Jeff Lowe told him to. Jeff Lowe needed possession of that zoo, and the only way he could do that is to get rid of Joe. When Jeff Lowe came in, Joe was supposed to be sick, and he wasn't as sick as everybody thought he was. He just made it sound like he was real bad sick to try and get donations and stuff. So when Jeff Lowe appeared, he had his right-hand man, Alan Glover, with him. So they came together, and Jeff Lowe needed an out for that, and that's what they come up with. Because every day Jeff Lowe talked about killing Carol Baskin as much as Joe did. Every day, that's all they talked about. And now all of a sudden, Jeff Lowe is all this saint. Oh, I didn't say I was going to kill her, and all this stuff, but he did. He actually did. So him and Alan, Alan, and James Garretson just devised a scheme, and that's what they come up with. But it's coming out now because they're all coming out and saying, oh, we set Joe up, we set him up. And I mean, all three of them have said it.
That is interesting.
That makes me feel bad for Joe. I know he did bad things, like the way he treated some of the animals, but dude.
Yeah, he did things wrong, but he didn't do 22 years worth of wrong.
No, he doesn't deserve to be locked up for that long.
He's been in there long enough.
I hope the appeal goes right anyway, and he gets out. When he gets out, he'll probably on instant become a millionaire with all his cameos.
I say he'll do very well.
Yeah, he'll talk show host. You'll see him everywhere again. It'll be front page stuff kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. He'll be like a B-lister upon release.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Like people love a good disaster story. Like you could only compare it to Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. What did he say? Like Tiger Blood back in the day?
He used to drink. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully he'll be okay. But I take it prison hasn't been too kind to him.
No. You know, a gay man in prison is not real pleasant anyway, but the guards are picking on him. You know, they won't even let him see his attorneys. He can talk to them on the phone, but they've only met face to face twice the whole time he's been in there.
Is that like a violation of his rights, or?
It is a violation of his rights, and they're actually filing a suit against that. So they can't deny him his legal counsel.
Okay, that's okay. Well, hopefully that works in his favor.
Yeah.
Because like, why would they go to that end to stop him?
Yeah.
And
that's pretty.
Do you know if Joe has actually like seen the show? I presume he's gotten.
He has not seen the show as far as all 7 episodes.
Wow.
I'd say he'd get pissed if he's seen it. He'd be.
But I know he's seen social media and some of the little, was it the memes that they put out and stuff like that.
Wow. That can be an experience. They could make an entire show of him just watching the show.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'd pay to see it. I'd pay to see it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, do you yourself and Joe communicate, or?
You know, I have not talked to Joe since he's been put in jail, just simply because he doesn't know how to shut his mouth, and he'll just talk and talk and talk, and probably incriminate himself more. Everything he says is recorded, and they go through it, and they can use it against him. Mm-hmm. So I have not personally talked to him on the phone.
And what was the last thing you guys talked about?
You know, I talked with his attorneys about a week and a half ago, and he was actually on the phone, but we never talked about, hey, what's up? How you doing? None of that stuff. It was all just strictly a game plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
People pretty upset not getting a pardon.
Yeah, I seen that.
I think didn't some people have a limousine ready for him to like?
Yeah, that was his attorneys. Yeah,
that was his attorneys. Oh wow.
Yeah.
What was it? I always assumed he'd be like a big Trump guy, but then like after he didn't get the pardon, he really shit on Trump.
Yeah. That's Joe.
I don't know. Like I wonder, because I don't take him as being a big Biden guy or a Bernie bro.
But you got to remember, he ran against Trump in Trump got president. So you got to remember that he said some things about Trump back then. So did that come into play? There's just a lot of variables out there.
True. Yeah.
And you think Biden will let him out?
No, I think Biden's got his own problems.
I think Biden will let him out.
Honestly, like I think the only person who would ever let him out would be Trump. Like I really don't think he's getting out anymore, from a pardon at least.
I don't think. I think Trump's anti-gay, you know, to where Biden's more towards the gay and lesbian groups than anything. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can only hope that, you know, all wrongs are righted and everything turns out okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'm really sorry to hear about your was it your lion or tiger?
My lion, yeah.
Lion, yeah, dude. That is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's rough. I hope Jeff gets what he deserves.
Yeah, that's all we can do is hope.
Yeah.
And yeah, but anyway, I guess we got to finish up at some point, John.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure talking to you today.
Yep, I did this.
We'll have to have you on it after season 2 comes out, just so we can, you know, talk
or
about
after the court case, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'd love to have you on again. This was a real pleasure.
100%.
So, John, if people want to check you out, where can they find you?
If you want to find me,
yeah, like your social media.
Facebook, I'm under John Reinke, and Instagram, I'm on John Reinke Tiger King, and also have a TikTok, also this John Reinke. So,
you know, I didn't know you were on a TikTok. I'm gonna go follow you right now after this.
Yeah, you an active TikToker?
I'm an actor. Well, I try to be. I haven't here lately because I've been kind of busy, but I need to get over that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You know where to find them. So if you got this far, thanks very much for watching or listening. And take it handy.
Perfect.
Top of the morning, lads and ladies. Support for the Awfully Irish podcast is now brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming.
Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and you're no longer need the look of the Irish with the ladies. Manscaped just launched in Ireland. We've gone years without using the right tools for the job. You can now be one of the first men in Ireland to experience their life-changing products.
Your balls will thank you.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code IrishPod at manscaped.com.
That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code IrishPod.